Hello all you infidels, kuffar and Muslims out there. Nemesis is back for part 3 of owning Gazbot, the Islamic apologist. So, on to page 30 now. My response to him with regard to those comments was, not only can I back up my points to the hilt on just this one point of contention using Islamic sources, I can verify with facts and substantiate my claims. You may say that I'm being hateful and that I'm defaming a religion. No, sorry, that's wrong wording, isn't it? My apologies. I'm being racist towards a religion by exposing the meaning of this particular verse in its Islamic context. Frankly, the Islamic faith is the polar opposite of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and you want to censor, subvert or even soften criticism of a faith that flies in the face of human rights. Silly, silly boy, you're definitely living in La La Land. People like me, millions of them worldwide, won't capitulate to your pathetic contradictory demands in which to spare Islamic sensitivities. Get used to it. Right, so it's just going on about my profile descriptions. That's going away from what we're talking about, to be honest with you. Right, he goes on about the KKK. Absolute rubbish. Nothing to do with what we're talking about. I'm not saying that I don't want to talk about the KKK. I can do, but I want to stick to this topic. I've challenged him to debate. Islam is intolerant, hateful, and murderous, and he's saying it's not. Right, so right, I'm just saying to him here, unlike you, I don't run away from legitimate debate, that much is for sure. I'll be happy to answer your points, but first, for just once, can you give me the courtesy of expanding on why you think I've got the interpretation of Al-Madiyah 533 wrong? Islam is hateful and intolerant, prepare for some serious ownage, kidder. Right, he's saying he thinks he's already demonstrated how I interpreted it wrong by pointing out that it says Allah and his messenger and says nothing about those who wage war, criticise Islam. It doesn't even mention Islam in that particular verse. How many times have I got to say it to him, people? And those who cause corruption or mischief in the land. He's selectively only using half of the verse there. Selective. Selective argumentation equals bias, equals bigotry. Anyway, he's saying here that there is no real right or wrong way to interpret something, as everyone interprets differently and people must not be discriminated against for that. However, there are widely accepted interpretations that are shared, thus making the interpretation a more accurate one. Your interpretation of the verse is less accurate than some others to what its true meaning is. Like most religious texts, they speak in riddles. Some very manipulative minds must have made them up. Bollocks. Bollocks. But I will agree with him that there are widely accepted interpretations that are shared, thus making the interpretation a more accurate one. Bingo! Right, this is where Gazbot starts going on a slippery downhill slide. Next page, 28. Gazbot, let's get back to you being completely refuted. I could address many of your other points right now and tie you up and ultimately refute your claims, but now it's poignant to stick to the topic of Islam being intolerant and hateful. As you are well aware, I cited Surah 5 verse 33 as my proof of this. So can you tell me what the Arabic word for corruption is so we can gauge a real context for this debate? Cheers. It's very important to understand a bit of the Arabic language and wording. So I'm asking him very specifically, right, very, very specifically, it does take him a while to answer this, what the Arabic word for corruption is so we can gauge a real context for this debate. Corruption, mischief makers, same wording, right, and it's found in Surah 5 verse 32 and 33, right. He's saying I can't refute him because I am right, and you know I'm right. All that this hateful intolerance is doing is causing, inciting and creating more racism, more hate and more hate crimes. As to your comments regarding the Islamic text, there are 4 words in Arabic that relate to the English word of corruption, and as you know, the context is very much relevant to the variant of the word used. Quite true. He's listed a number of Arabic words there that denote excuse me, corruption or mischief. As if you can't research these words yourself. You know, he does play you for a real prick sometimes, and unfortunately he's definitely met his match here rather. Right, so he's given me those words used, and yeah, Nemesis, you completely fail. You fail completely in your evidence that particular surah, as I proved, it does not describe Islam, but moreover describes those waging war against God, which I believe Jews, Christians, and all believe in. Thus, they cannot possibly be getting discriminated against by that particular verse. As for atheists and those who do not believe in the one God, well, atheists, it's simple. How can non-belief be insulted by that of words of belief? Non-belief or no belief means that there is a negative or missing belief. Thus, something that is not there cannot be insulted or persecuted against. A person who does not believe in a higher level of existence is perfectly fine to do so. The Quran has verses which are misinterpreted in regards to these. Also, again, you're only looking at the Quran. To get more accurate interpretation, you must use Sunnah and the Hadith also. Which is fine. I mean, if you look at the Sunnah, you look at all accepted hadith with reliable chains of narration, isnad, then you will find that those texts also collaborate what we're saying to you. Islam is hateful and intolerant. But anyway, so I'm saying to him here, really, I mean, come on. The debate has only just started and you're claiming you know more than me about this verse without looking at all the contextual evidence. This is naive and premature of you, mate. As it goes, I brought charges against the Islamic faith for being hateful, intolerant and murderous, to name but a few. So we need to examine each other's claims, provide evidence and counter them if possible. It is then that people can decide for themselves who makes the strongest case. Victory can then be ascertained. Basically, it boils down to you refuting my claims. Agreed? So, next page, 27. He's saying, I've read the Quran in Arabic in its proper context. I know more about it than you. In fact, deal with it or go crazy. I am dealing with it, Gazbot, believe me. Perhaps it's too much to ask for you to let me counter your points one by one. He's basically, because we was actually at this precise moment in time responding to each other. And when you do that, you don't get your full story across. I'm just basically telling him to shut the fuck up and let me just bring my argument to the table. Once I've finished that, carry on, refute. So he's agreed to it. This is how... when I look at this, it tells me a lot about him as well, personally. This is just a personal observation. He couldn't stick this comment on my page, so I've copied it off his page and posted it on mine. Basically it says, and it doesn't boil down to me refuting your claims at all. I couldn't give a damn whether you think or claim or can prove Islam to be what it is you're claiming. I care about the way you and the rest of your little group of friends and the many more out there who go about saying things, doing things and causing the hate, hurtful, angry, intolerant, abusive and hate crimes. These are things you have all done, and is provable by looking at the definitions of such and then looking at exactly what you and others have been doing. I myself criticise the Islamic faith, but I do not go around making antagonistic comments and saying hurtful or deliberately disrespectful and harmful things about Muslims and about a religious faith. Right. I've said there, I hope you don't mind me copy and pasting your response to me off your channel. Then he says, I didn't say that. What are you trying to prove by editing a quote? And after that, oh wait, I did say that. Well, yes you did, Gazbot. I'm not stupid enough to compromise my integrity by posting falsehoods. He makes a comment, I post it, and then he claims that I've edited it. No, I haven't. Get a grip, lad, for God's sake. Obviously he's on some very slippery ground now and he's not liking it. But, as they say, you know, my freedom of speech is to say tough shit. Right. Right, okay. So going back to the debate. He cited 4 Arabic words to define corruption. Here they are, I've listed them, right? And they all go on about moulder, rotting, decomposition, putrefaction, mouldiness, infection, bribery, corruption, you know, decay and dry up and blighting, corruption, rottedness. Right, I've asked him specifically now, this is the second time I've asked him, could be the third actually, but anyway, what is the Arabic word used to define corruption in Surah 5 verse 33? Right, because I won't let him escape from this. He wants to prove it's right. He's right, well that's fine, I'll give him a forum to do that, but you know, debate for God's sake. Anyway, I'll speak to you in part 4.